Darlings, we are back for another crazy update. Honestly, we have got like, I don't know, I feel like people already have trouble with like keeping their manners in check when they're flying. And now we have airplanes and their parts coming apart midair, on the ground, while taxiing, to get on the air, or like in between. All kinds of madness. All kinds of madness. Anywho, darlings. So, if you haven't yet, if you weren't following it, Boeing, the company, has agreed to plead guilty to criminal fraud. They're going to be the latest felon on the block. And my, oh my. So, we've all heard the issues which have besieged Boeing and is still haunting Boeing, the American multinational corporation that designs, manufactures, and sells a variety of products such as airplanes, rotorcrafts, rockets, satellites, and missiles worldwide. I mean, they practically have the monopoly in all these dang things. And they also provide leasing product support services. So, yeah. So they're like their own tech support, basically. Apparently, the company has agreed to plead guilty to criminal fraud tied to the fatal 737 MAX crashes, yes, plural, which, if accepted by a federal judge, will brand the U.S. aerospace giant a felon. Yes, a felon. But does allow the company to avoid trial while it tries to turn the page from their safety and manufacturing issues, aka crises. So, per CNBC, under the deal, Boeing would face a fine up to $387.2 million, though the Justice Department recommended that the court credit Boeing with half that amount because it already paid it under a previous agreement, resulting in a fine of $243.6 million. Okay, I'm sorry, Justice Department, what is you don't want? I'm sorry, dude. That's I do that. This like sidestepping business Boeing has been doing, trying to control the narrative that their planes are safe, which is now known to be far from the truth. Heller should pay that $487.2 million fine. I'm just saying. They should have been. They like if they haven't already, they should even set up a trust fund set up for the families of the deceased passengers of, the downed 737 MAX planes. Yes, plural. Now, again, if this deal is accepted by a federal judge, it could complicate the company's ability to sell products to the US government as a felon, although there seems to be a workaround to that. They could always ask for a waiver or waivers. Mm, 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 mm. Per CNBC, about 32% of Boeing's nearly 78 billion in revenue last year alone came from its defense, space, and security unit. Like, okay, look, they have 78 billion in revenue last year alone. Do you really think that the 480 something whatever dollars that they have to pay in fines is going to put a dent in their bank's account? No. Let them pay the damn thing. Honestly. Per a Defense Department official, the DoD will assess Boeing's remediation plans and its agreement with the Justice Department to make a determination as to what steps are necessary and appropriate to protect the federal government. Mm, Side eyeing you very hard right now. So the plea deal also installs an independent monitor to oversee compliance at Boeing for three years during a probationary period. 3 years? I mean, hello. No, no. Extend that ish to 10 years because let's be honest, it's time extensive to draft up plans for anything with an engine attached to it, let alone to get these polished, remade, and all the bells and whistles attached to it before they're even drafted onto the drafting table at the factory. I'm just saying, my lord, this plea deal is starting to irritate me, and that's putting it mildly. I mean, even if Boeing is to also invest at least 455 million in compliance and safety programs, which is according to court filing ings. Jeez nuts. I can't even think anymore. The court filings, it's still insufficient for me. And for Boeing to agree that it's like board of directors should meet with like the crash victims' family members, like why didn't you already do that? Sirs, ma'ams. I'm just saying. It's just looking like it's a little too late for me in that aspect and really just deploy to garner some brownie points. I mean, I feel bad for the family members who continue to be dragged into this mess and relive their nightmare because Boeing has failed to accept responsibility for their product's failures. I mean, now that they're like, their backs are up against the wall, obviously. Now they're like, okay, fine, we'll accept, responsibility. But it's, come on now. Come on now. You were so full of hubris and you were like willing to point the finger at anybody else. I mean, hell, you probably were thinking, you know what? Let's point the finger at the sun or something to that effect. But now it's like, hello, sirs and ma'ams. No. I mean, honestly, I really do feel like it's a little too late. A little too late. Then again, I also feel like if the federal government is stepping in to rectify this issue, this crisis for the public, they need to do their utmost to actually rectify this. So families never have to, bury their family members, because of anybody's negligence. You know what I mean? Just saying. Anywho, my darling tears, that's all I have for that. And for those of you who are leery of getting on a 737 Max plane, I know I'm there with you. I am there with you, honey. And with that, darlings, stay safe. You're all kinds of fabulous, even though you're having a bad day. And we are at 157 currently subscribers. My goal is 200 for now. My little bitty channel is growing very organically, and it's slow, slow snail pace, and I like it that way. And darling dears, do try to leave grace for others and to always remember to journey in gratitude. I shall see you all fabulous people later. To live now. Bye.